The following podcast contains jokes and laughter, but we want to make it clear that humor is never at the expense of the victims or the tragedies discussed. If you enjoy a blend of comedy and true crime, you found your podcast. However, if you're easily offended, this might not be the right fit for you, and that's perfectly okay. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Melanin Mysteries, where we dig into the cases that'll have you side eyeing everybody. Because let's be real, you never know who's up to no good. And we are bringing you another story that proves that some people just don't deserve Uber privileges. Hailing a cab is supposed to be simple. You get in, you tell the driver where you're going, and hopefully you make it there in one piece, right? But for two Houston taxi drivers, their final ride didn't end with a tip. It ended with them losing their lives. Tonight, we're diving into the case of Chaz Blackshear and Danielle Hudson, a couple who took ride or die way too literally. When love, robbery, and murder mix, the result is nothing short of a crime spree with a one-way ticket to disaster. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I'm your co-host, Wooly. Let's get it. Right, here we go. This another good one, y'all. Another good one. So look, it's just another day, right? Another day, another dollar, like they say. So you work for the Yellow Cab Company, driving cabs all over the city of Houston, Texas. It's been a long day, and it's even been a longer night. So you decide to pick up one leg fare because it's late. You're a little bit tired. You thinking to yourself, like, hopefully this is going to be a real quick one. So you pick up a young lady and a young man, and just before you pull off, you hear gunshots. Bam, bam. Muhammad Nabi was a 32-year-old American by birth, but Egyptian by heritage. He taught Arabic language and culture to the U.S. soldiers before they would be stationed in the Middle East. Now, at the time of his death, he had two daughters, ages 2 and 7, and it was said to be, they say he was like real quiet by nature. He was studying to be an engineer. So he was actually working as a taxi driver for the Yellow Cab Company in Houston, Texas, to earn a little bit extra money. So now let's talk about the who and the why Muhammad ended up losing his life. Do they still got taxis?
Yeah, they have tax. Oh, well, I know they have taxes in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm just saying because you would think like who would really want to need a taxi when you got Uber and Lyft and everything? Like I would think that kind
But
of
this was back in 2010, so
no, no,
I
no,
don't think.
nigga, I know that. I was just speaking
Oh,
in general. Like
oh,
I haven't seen a taxi in like forever.
you just went to Vegas like a year ago. They're in Vegas. So we're gonna
Oh, I
still
don't.
move on.
All right, go ahead.
Because the taxis, remember the taxis were cheaper than the Ubers. Remember that
Oh,
one
when we
time we
went.
went
Oh,
to
but that
Vegas,
was like 2, 3 years ago when we went.
still recently in taxi. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. So Danielle Renee Hudson was born December 15th, 1989 to her parents Kavina Taylor and Joseph Clay Hudson. They were married in 1983 and it looks like they divorced at some point, and then Joseph ended up being a deadbeat. And then her mom, Kavina, was in and out of prison. So Danielle had to go live with her granny, who worked two jobs just to make ends meet. And while her granny was working to make sure Danielle was good, Danielle was outside all her teenage years. So she jumped off the porch early. She was selling drugs. She would steal shoes, clothes, cars. Clearly, the bitch was a klepto. So
Mm.
she also found herself in several abusive relationships. And by the time she was 19, she was pregnant and her baby daddy was in jail. So it looks like the cycle is going to repeat itself, unfortunately.
The apple don't fall too close from the nasty nigga tree.
So Danielle has her son around 2008, and she's doing the best she can. So from all accounts, it just seems like she's really trying to be a good mom, get her life back on track, and just give her son the life that she didn't have. And then, they say when you aren't looking, that's when you find love. So in 2010, Danielle was at a house party, and then she meets Chaz Blackshear.
All right, let's talk about good old Chaz Omar Blackshear. He was born August 19th, 1989 in Dallas, Texas. Our girls from there, the Rare Rum, Taste of Rare Rum. Ain't they
No,
Dallas, Texas?
they're no,
They're in
they are
Texas.
in
All right,
San
nigga, I was wrong.
Antonio.
My bad. I was wrong. They are in Texas. Shout out to Taste of Rare Rum. All right, his mom name is
You
Alicia
mean a
Faye
sip
Back.
of red rum?
A sip of
Sip,
Rare Rum. What'd I say?
a
I said a
taste.
hit of Rare Rum.
No, you said a taste.
A taste. They should. Hey, that sounds like a good restaurant. All right. Anyway, his mom name is Alicia Faye Blackshear. There was no father listed. He did before Chad was born. And it seems like that'd be the trend. Have you noticed that? Like a lot of our cases, Like the daddy
Mhm.
don't be in it, he ain't shit. Fathers are important. Step up to the plate, dog. So Alicia had a substance abuse problem. And just like Danielle's mom, Alicia was in and out of jail. But Chaz did have one advantage. His auntie and his uncle took him in, they adopted him. So he went from the hood to middle class. You know what I'm saying? Something kind of like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, right? And he was able to flourish as a child. They say he did good in school. He got good grades. He graduated from Duncanville High School. After high school, he really was feeling college. But his parents, like, nigga, you got to do something. And you know what I'm saying? You got to do something. So he was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I got to do something because he wanted to be a rapper, right? But that
Mm.
wasn't acceptable as a career choice, his parents. But music was his passion. You know what I'm saying? So he said, whatever. So Chaz decided to roll in the U.S. Navy. So he said, forget it. If he didn't want to go to school, so he said, I'm just go ahead and go in the Navy just to pacify. Now that only led to 2 years and Chad was discharged. I guess he figured out that, he did what he needed to do to satisfy his parents' wishes, and now it's time for him to do him. So he got all his stuff and he moved down to Houston, Texas. All right. He said he's gonna be the biggest rapper. He said bigger than Pimp C, bigger than all them other dudes out there. But there was one problem. You know what that problem was? The nigga couldn't rap. No, I'm joking. I don't even know if he could or not. You know what I'm saying? What Chaz wanted to rap about being in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Running through bitches and having a hard not life. He wasn't about that life whatsoever. Right. So but the crazy part is a lot of these new rappers, these young YNs, they crazy. They're about the life. But majority of the
Mhm.
rapper back in the day, they wasn't living the life that they was talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I
I don't
mean, and not
understand.
trying to be funny, but Will Smith was the first rapper who won a Grammy, and he didn't even cuss in his lyrics. And he grew up like he didn't grow up crazy. He grew up in a regular
Man, ain't
middle
nobody
class.
talking about no bullshit at Will Smith. I'm talking about the
But okay,
hood
but that's
rappers,
still
man.
big that he was the first rapper to win a Grammy. That's huge. Like that was history. So obviously it made something.
All out,
Rick Ross was a correction officer.
correct, exactly. He ain't no big time dope dealer. So my thing is the fact that he talk about it was hard for him to make it because he wasn't really living it out. Half of these niggas wasn't. But anyway, so let's talk about how they met, right? Chaz and Danielle met at a house party, and it was lust at first sight. You know why? Because he blew her back out the first night. You know what I'm saying? First night they got it on the pub. Do you think it's wrong to have sex the first night?
That ain't none of my business what people do in their bedroom. Not I,
Hey
said
man,
the
how
cat.
about?
But
Oh
hey,
yeah, I mean, it might be in the car too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or in the bathroom. Just throwing it out there.
I know
So the
somebody who
little
was in the bathroom during the party. I was just really disgusted.
for real. You said
Mm-hmm.
you knew somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, do I know her?
Mm-hmm.
The little midnight fling turned out to be permanent. So, you know what I'm saying? His one night stand, well, not one night stand, his one first night hitter and quitter ended up being permanent. So Chaz was starry eyed over Danielle's past, right? Because the life she was living or live was the life that nigga he wanted to live so he could rap about, right? So Chaz, he had stability, you know what I'm saying? So, that's something that she craved, she never had. So she was like, all right, baby, you rocking, then I'm rolling. But look, now this issue, neither one of their asses had a stable home situation. So they were both broke. So I'm not sure if Danielle had gotten kicked out of her granny house or why she was living or why she wasn't living there permanently, but all reports said that they both essentially was homeless. So they would be couch hopping. Now that's some shit to rap about. Real talk, the struggles of not having a house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, just rap about that.
I know.
Go
So
ahead, man.
it's always something wrong with all these people because yeah, it's just something wrong with all these people. But basically, they started shacking up, but then they have a shack, and then they had a baby too. So they were a cute little family and a cute little homeless family. But Chaz treated Danielle's son like her son, and Danielle she didn't work, and then Chaz was too busy. He was so focused on being the next big thing out of Houston, he couldn't take the time to clock into somebody's job so he could collect a paycheck. Take care of his family. Wild concept. You got two grown ass people who could work but just don't.
Yes, and y'all homeless. Like, who you okay with that? And y'all got a little homeless little nigga baby.
Right? Don't call me nigga, baby. But yeah, like I'm just like, make it
Yeah,
make
right.
sense. So they said Chaz will be in the studio, and where he got money to be in the studio, I can't tell you. Like I don't know, but they said Danielle was being right there to support her man. Okay, She could have been at somebody's job, I'm just saying.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Know what I'm saying? You just support your man. You need some
You be
support for
supporting
the
your
household.
child.
Yes.
And
He
they
is.
were inseparable, like and then, like, Chaz, he was like, "Well, shoot, Imma use Danielle's background as my inspiration." So she was his muse. And then, like we
Oh,
said, Chaz couldn't be bothered to try to find a job, but they really needed some money, like, bad, and they needed it fast too. So Chaz comes with this genius idea that they could rob cab drivers. I mean, it just sounds so simple, right? So what could go wrong?
a lot. A whole damn lot. The fact that you didn't even live, the fact that you grew up in a good neighborhood, went to the Navy head, like you could have really did something, and you choose to be a rapper who robbing cab drivers.
Right,
That's the
like,
most.
you could have
That's
done
the
so much,
niggerish
like
shit I have ever heard in my life. He just out niggered a lot of nigger people.
yeah, I don't it doesn't make sense because had you and because I'm like, I don't think that you can sign up for can you sign up for 2 years in the Navy? I don't think you can.
Yeah, I think that yeah, it's a contract. So it's I
Yeah, it's
think
like I thought it was 4 years.
well,
Because
I
when
mean,
Isaiah was gonna go, they told me he had to sign for at least 4 years.
that I mean, don't give me the line. Yeah,
But
no,
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, so
I really don't.
if
I
you
mean,
got if
maybe
you
he got
did
did he
2
get honorable? Did he get
that's
honorable
what I was trying
discharge?
to I couldn't find anything to see if he was honorably or dishonorably discharged. 'Cause I'm like, if you were honorably discharged, you could have had you a good job. You could have had your job at the post office. You had first dibs on federal jobs. So I'm confused. So that's why I'm wondering if he was
Yeah, he
honorably
probably went
or
dishonorable
dishonorably
discharge. Yeah,
discharged.
yeah.
Yeah. So his plan was to use Danielle to call into a cab company and they would get picked up, they would rob the driver. So that's a genius plan, right? So the two decide they're gonna go ahead and put their plan into action.
Mm. So it's around 2 a.m. on October 11th, 2010, and Danielle goes to a payphone and calls the yellow cab company and requests a cab. She gives the name Shantae. She requests to be picked up from a closed Chevron gas station at the corner of Whittington and South Dairy Ashford. So, of course, the driver is Muhammad Nabi that we mentioned earlier. They got in, they robbed Muhammad, and it looks like they had him drive for a bit, and then they shot him, and then dished his body in the drainage ditch in the block of 5400, and that is on Wheatley. And then they dumped this cab 15 miles away near 12400 block of Overbrook, not far from where they were picked up at. Muhammad's body was found lying in the drainage ditch that afternoon, not long after his abandoned car was found. Several spent 380 shells and blood was found inside of Muhammad's cab as well as fingerprints. Obviously, they were not very,
Smart.
majority of the killers are not smart. You know what I'm saying? They
Like
just
y'all don't
use
use gloves. Like I mean, I would think that the
no,
first
they
thing
just
you
be doing
do,
shit. I swear they just come on. All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna kill. They don't think of anything else, right? But it
like,
also
cause
look
y'all
like
not afford. Well, maybe they couldn't afford gloves.
true that.
I
We
mean,
didn't
like
think about
like
that.
Mariah say, sometimes murder is just not in the budget, and I'm gonna need you to like factor that in before you start killing people. Like
Yes,
you can't afford some
yes.
gloves, baby. I just don't need you to do it. I'm just saying.
Like I was gonna kill that nigga, but man, I ain't had no goddamn gloves on me, man. I had to change my mind. But
I'm
anyway,
just
but it's also looked like someone had tried to wipe the cab down, right? The victim pockets were tore open and a passport was found, which was how they were able to identify him. The evidence is gathered up and sent in for processing, but at the moment there are no suspects. So these niggas really is robbing and killing cab drivers.
and these two, they just going about their day like, they ain't killed nobody or nothing. But they did have a problem though. They didn't come really get no money. So they had like, another buy them some food, probably some diapers for the baby, but I was like, really is. So Chaz was like, baby, we got to do this again. I'm like,
Ah,
again? Nigga.
again.
So
Also, you just
on
making me a murderer.
exactly. So then on October 13th, 2010 at 2:53 a.m., Danielle goes back to a payphone and she calls the same
The
yellow cab
same.
company and requests another cab under that same name,
That same
Shante.
name.
And the cab company dispatches another cab to an office building. Now,
Mm. If being
yeah,
dumb
y'all
was a
not too bright.
sin, if being dumb was a sin, they'd be in hell right now.
Because most people
So
be in
here we
hell.
go, right? Blaze, the Wakataki. Now that's not his last name, but he got about 8 consonants in it, and I'm not about to mess it up. So we just gonna say Blaze. Blaze. That's what we're gonna call him. He was the driver that picked him up, and they did the exact same routine as they did before. They get picked up, and then they robbed Blaze, and then they shot him, which is so ignorant as hell to me. Just rob the nigga. Why shoot and kill? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I never understood that. Just rob him, get out the car, because hypothetically, if you do get caught, it's less time. You know what I'm saying? Rather than
That's
you
what I'm
actually,
thinking. Because if you kill
yeah,
him, you're gonna get more time.
exactly. Just rob his ass and just gone. You know what I'm saying? The fact that y'all be not y'all like. I know you, but the fact people be robbing them, then killing them, like that shit is just so I don't know. That's crazy to me. But anyway, while this poor man is bleeding out, they're going through his pockets, ransacked his cab before they left the scene. These Bonnie and fake ass Clyde decide to set the car on fire and they close the door. So let's talk about Blaze Ozuma, and I can't say his last name. He was 50 years old. He was a naturalized citizen who came to the US from Nigeria in the 1980s. He drove a cab. He drove for the cab company. Sometimes they say this dude was out there for 15 to 18 hours a day to support his family. You know what I'm saying, man? But them Africans, man, let me tell you, they work. I'm
Yes,
telling you, man,
I
them
said
Africans
they will
work.
put in some work.
They say that the dude drove 15 to 18 hours a day to support the family. He had a wife and 5 children. One of the children lived in the States, and this was his daughter named Portia, and then the remaining children lived in Nigeria. Um, they say that he would work and then he would send money back home to them. He was described as humble, a generous man, and everybody in the Nigerian community he lived loved him. So make sure you rest in heaven.
So a Houston police officer, he was doing his routine patrol and he looks over and he sees a yellow cab that's smoking in a parking lot. So he goes over to check it out, make sure no one's injured or in need of assistance around 4:15 a.m. Now, when he gets over to the car, he sees a man in the cabin. He looks to be unresponsive in the driver's seat. He immediately calls for backup as well as the paramedics, who unfortunately they pronounced Blaze dead at the scene. And Blaze's body was badly burnt, and they said the smell of burning flesh was just horrible. That is something I pray I never have to smell. That in a what is it? Why am I blanking on the words? Decayed
Bacteria
body.
vaginosis.
Oh my god.
What? I'm
No.
sorry. I thought you said
I'm
something you
like,
didn't want to smell.
no, with a decomposing body. That's what I was. You like one
Oh, so
day.
funny.
I just need you to get through a one episode without the shenanigans. Like just
I thought great man thinking like thought we were thinking alike. I messed up on this when I apologized. You meant flesh. You didn't want to smell a decomposing body. My bad. Go ahead.
okay. So then they realized that it really wasn't the fire that killed Blaze. It was gunshot wounds. So they found two 380 shell casings at the scene as well, and Blaze's wallet was also found under his seat, and then that helped them to identify the body as well. And at this point, it's obvious that this scene is linked to the first cab murder. Same bullet casings found. Both victims work for the same cab company, so whoever is doing this is clearly targeting cab drivers. Now, the setting of the second cab on fire looked like they were trying to get rid of any evidence. However, somebody didn't pay attention in high school science class. When
Dumbasses.
when you close the door on the cab, it had the opposite effect of what I'm sure Danielle and Chaz thought it would have. They probably thought it would make the fire like condense and go up bigger and then destroy the evidence. In reality, it had the opposite effect and it actually made the fire die out very quickly.
Mm, dumbass. Yep. So Houston PD goes first. They go to the Yellow Cat Company because they about to like look. Let's go ahead and get these laws so they can cross reference the calls that were made on October 11th and October 13th. So they find that one call came from a Chevron gas station at 1905 Dairy Ashford, and they were able to listen to the audio. And the call from the woman name was Shantae. So remember Shantae, that's the name that she used. And they mentioned that Shantae had a very distinctive voice. So the detectives go to the gas station and ask for surveillance tapes, but they were like shit out of luck because the cameras didn't work. Half of them cameras don't be working at
Nowhere.
them
Half of
stores.
them be
Yeah,
working nowhere. They just be for show.
literally, like I'm not lying. I went to the this beauty shop and I, because I do the cameras and I'm looking up. They actually they dumbasses would prefer to pay for a mock like a fake one than just buying the real one, so it look like you got cameras. You know what I'm saying? But
But
you
then
don't
some
got
shit pop
cameras.
off and you got nothing.
You ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? You just got memory. That's it. Memory of what firsthand account of what happened. So look, the second call that Shantae made into the cab company was made from a second building. So they try their luck with that building, and their cameras are working, and they catch Shantae on camera. So they see Shantae, and just in case you guys must forget, remember Shantae is actually Danielle. That's just the name that she used. She get out of the cab and she looks around and then looks directly into the camera. I got you, bitch. She gets back into the cab, and then you see Chaz get into the cab as well. And then you see two flashes. I mean, the flashes were the gunshots. Chaz grabs some money and then lights the cab on fire, and they both run. Unfortunately, the video is blurry and they really can't make out their faces. So they really can't see it, but they saw what happened. That's some devilish shit, man.
It
I ought to
really
be a
is.
rapper.
All because y'all was both too goddamn lazy to go get a job.
I know, like, damn, cause she could get on food stamps and sold them or something. Like, it's other creative ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? Besides murdering, you know what I'm saying, and robbery. Like, gee, god damn. Or yes, or even if you decide to do it, hypothetically, you say, you know what, I'm fed up with life and I don't want a job. I'm about to get the money the hard way. You ain't got to kill the person.
I
Just
ain't trying to
rob
be funny.
their
You
ass.
can go out and sell pussy and get the money, okay? I'd rather you do that than to be
Well,
out
they,
somewhere
man,
robbing
look,
somebody.
the price of pussy has plummeted. It's plummeted tremendously. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Did you see that chick on social media last week? She
$40.
said this chick said she was giving up pussy for $20 and $15 for some head. I was like, oh. She said, and
That's
then she got
crazy.
mad
Send
when
me
we was
the
in
link right quick. I just want to look at it. I just want to see if I know her. That's if you can, just send it.
then but
$15.
then I guess people were commenting and she got mad and she was like, if y'all don't want to support a black business, just say that. I was like, oh
I'm
girl.
dead as hell. See, that's why, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's plummeted, man. You know what I'm saying? It's at an
Well,
all time low.
back in 2010, that was 15 years ago.
Oh,
Maybe it was still
2010,
short.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Coochie was at an all time high. You know what I'm saying? Nigga was paying top dollar for that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she could have sold Coochie. But all that to say, she could have sold Coochie. My bad. Go ahead.
So the phone calls were made from a payphone about a half a mile from the scene, and they saw the couple run in the direction of an apartment building that was nearby. So they tried their luck at the apartment building, and they go speak with the manager. So they show the manager that blurry ass picture of Shantae, which we know is Danielle, and they ask if she lives in the building. The manager's like, "Oh yeah, I know her, but her name not Shantae. Her name Crystal Jones." And he makes a point to mention that she is not a model tenant. She always late on her rent, and she's actually on the verge of being evicted because she was several months behind on
Man,
her
that ass
rent.
all that shit. When you telling,
That's what I
yeah,
said, but I was like, "Well,
I
damn."
guarantee you they're white. I guarantee he was white.
No,
You know what
actually, he
I'm
was a
saying?
nigga. You watched the
I
episode.
about well, hold
It
on.
was a
Yes.
nigga.
No, I was going to make a joke. I was going to say either white or old dude. Usually old dudes, old black people tell all your business and white people. But he is a nigga, man. He probably had white parents. Go ahead.
But anyway, they said the other day she came in and told him that she had sold her car, so she paid up her rent. So the detectives are hyped. They like, we about to wrap this case right on us. So they get prepared. They surround Crystal's apartment, and Crystal comes to the door, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And
What?
and she like, "Baby, what the fuck is what?" Yeah. And they immediately notice that this isn't the right woman. Cause like we mentioned before,
This
like
nigga done told all her business. Then put out the fact that she late on her rent. You know what I'm saying? She's struggling out in these streets. He talked all that shit, and it's a wrong. And then got her house raided and guns pulled out and everything on her. You know what I'm saying?
she could have lost her life.
Yes, because this nigga, man. Come on, man. Get your shit together. Sorry
So,
about that.
like
Go
we've
ahead.
mentioned before, that Shantae, aka Danielle, had a very distinctive voice, but they did, want to know how this lady managed to pay her rent up. And she like, hold up, I got receipts, and she pulls out her bill of sale from her card.
Okay, so back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying? And the bullets they were found, but let's just be honest, man. This should not be that hard. You know what I'm saying? We dealing with some rookies here. The bullets that they found on both scenes were from a Cobra 380, which was had very distinctive marks. Police started checking to see if there are any burglaries, like in the areas that been robbed or whatever, somebody, you know what I'm saying, missing a gun. So they checking to make sure it wasn't stolen or to have any theft reports. They come across a police report where a man had reported, guess what? A Cobra 380 as stolen. Coincidence? He had some house guests who had overstayed their welcome. And when they finally left, he noticed that his gun was missing. That's some bullshit. I let you stay in my house and you steal from me, that's the worst thing a nigga could do to me. You steal from my house, dude, you will never allowed in my house no more.
If you
You know
steal
what I'm saying?
from me,
Never.
period, we
Yeah, I mean, no,
done.
I get it, but I'm just saying, you if I let you stay and then my shit come up missing, I don't care. That's one thing I tell. That's one thing. I don't care what you're going through, how hard life is, nigga. You are not living with me. A person, I'm not. I'm not having nobody live with me, nigga. I'm like, look, I'm praying for you, and I know what I'm saying. I know a couple churches that you can go to, some soup kitchens, but nigga, you're not living with me. Know what I'm saying? Forget that. But anyway, in his report, it listed a description of his house guests and also listed their names: Chaz, Blackshear, and Danielle Hudson, aka Shantae. And as soon as they got this information, the fingerprints that were found at the scene came back and they matched Chaz, who just so happened to hit a minor weed charge a few months back. So they probably booked him in and they automatically take his fingerprints for the niggas that don't know. So now they had Chaz's profile picture, his address, and phone number. But his phone was off, right? This cheap ass nigga, this nigga really out here in these streets rapping, portraying a life that he ain't living, and this dude got a minute phone. But wait, that was 2010. No, they had
No,
they
we had, I mean, you had like two, no, was
yeah,
it?
you had
You had like
unlimited.
200. No, unlimited was like high still. I think it was like you had like 500 minutes was like,
No, I'm telling you, I remember I had Alltel. I had an Alltel phone with $99 a month and it was unlimited talking. I remember that. It was $99 a month. It was unlimited talking. And it was an Alltel. And that was back in, hold on, that was like in 2000, wait, 2010. Dog, yeah, that way 2010. Yeah, they had unlimited thing back in 2010. Cause I had that Alltel back in like 2001, 2002. Yeah, nigga, remember they had Norcoast, remember?
yeah, I don't remember like the exact when they transitioned over to I
Yeah,
just remember
remember
like
they
being
had
pissed off.
Norcoast. Yeah, the
I
hood
just remember being
phones.
pissed off because you remember, your minutes was like you had like you had 200 minutes, and then until 9 o'clock, your minutes was free after that on the weekends, and then we was hype, and then you could pay extra to have your free
At
minutes in
7 o'clock.
prison. Yes.
Let me tell you, man. Look, you don't realize how quick minutes go until you get a goddamn phone that you gotta pay for your minutes. That's when you realize how quick a minute is. You don't realize it, know what I'm saying, how quick minutes go. You know what I'm saying? That's why niggas back in the day, don't call me on the phone with this wanting to talk, talk about nothing, know what I'm saying, wasting my daytime minutes. Shit, you got me
No,
messed
you
up.
call after 9 o'clock.
Mhm. So look, I told you they get a profile picture, everything. You know what I'm saying? They try to go back his listed address, but like we said, this nigga was homeless, so that was a dead end too. So now again, they got the face, they got the name, they even got his number and his address, all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's about to go down.
They gotta find a nigga first, cause
I
he
mean,
he
it
was
ain't gonna
homeless
be
and his phone was off.
them be the easiest niggas to find. That's gonna be
It
easy.
actually really was easy to find because they like, let's put our thinking caps on for a minute. How is we gonna find this broke ass nigga who ain't got no job, ain't got no car, ain't got no home, and ain't got no phone?
He had an
Because he
Obama
homeless
phone.
before Obama phones. So they
No, that
like,
was when Obama
ooh,
phone came out.
I don't remember. But they
Go
like,
ahead.
ooh, let's call the phone company and trick this nigga. Cause he can't be that bright. So they had a phone company add minutes to his phone as a promotional offer so they can, get Chaz to use the phone so they can track his location. And niggas love free shit. So Chaz almost immediately hop on that phone. They like, got him. And on October 14th, 2010, they were able to track him to an apartment building. The U.S. Marshal Service, the Houston PD, and the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task gets to the apartment. They just busted down the door. They didn't play. They just busted down the goddamn door. And they
Man,
said when
first
they got inside, these fools were cut up on the couch chilling like they hadn't robbed and killed two men.
they just snuggling.
I'm telling you, the audacity.
The audacity. They up there snuggling and cuddling, you know what I'm
He
saying,
about to
whispering
get some
sweet
ass in a little
nothings.
bit.
Exactly. You didn't kill two innocent people, you damn heathen. Go ahead.
So thankfully, Danielle's son wasn't at the apartment when this all went down. And you know what? I wonder whose apartment this was, because I'd be motherfucking pissed if I let you and your bitch stay in my apartment. Not damn police done knocked down my door, probably done
My
threw my shit
goddamn dog.
everywhere.
Imagine you come home after a hard ass day and you walk up the steps because they probably was an apartment. So you walked up to the fourth flight of steps and you just tired and you look at your damn door is missing. God damn.
Then you already probably irritated because you got some bum ass niggas in your house that ain't contributing to shit, and now you got to deal with this shit. But then to make it even worse was that they said they had to literally pry these two people apart. Like these niggas was like huddled up and like, up, yeah. I,
I know,
so
man, they love it. Hey, look, they knew that was it. He probably was trying to get one last skeet in right quick, don't they? Because he know he about to go down. So look, they both take it to the station and they separated in two interrogation rooms. Now, this is the question: will they crack or will they ride it out? So they start with Chaz. Chaz said, "Yeah, we was in a taxi, but insists they were just customers and they did not kill nobody." So he like, "Look, bro, I ain't giving them nothing, right?" They whip out the videos and have not one, not two, but they got three different camera angles. And Chaz just in there like, "I don't know what to tell you, dog. That's not me. That's not me, man." They're like, "Well, this is your. That's not me."
he like, nah, mm-mm, wasn't
Mm-mm.
me. Well, he was like, it was like he was playing like the Shaggy song. Nope, it wasn't me. She caught me
Yeah,
there.
it
Nope,
wasn't
it
me.
wasn't
That's how you
me.
sound in the Ghana. It wasn't me. Yeah, shit. They deny
So
that.
next, they like, okay, let's go see if Danielle gonna talk. And you know what? This child ain't waste no time. She just had diarrhea tomorrow. She told all of it. She was like, look, quote, I didn't know he was gonna kill that man. And she told him, she's like, look, we've been struggling financially for months, but Chaz wasn't willing to get a job because it would take away from his music. So he had to plan to like start stealing, and he stole a gun, and then he told Danielle that they would lure cab drivers to like, remote locations and rob them, but the gun was just supposed to be for show. So then she says that the first driver didn't have much money and that they would have to do it again. So on the second run, Chaz ordered her to clear out the glove compartment and then he set the cab on fire. Do y'all know these niggas only got away with $300? $300.
All that for $300. That nigga, that dude lost his
Y'all
life
lost that poor
for
man lost his
three
life over
hundred
$300.
dollars, man.
So then they go back to Chaz and let him know that Danielle. They like, look, your bitch in the other room snitching. She told us all. He like, not my girl. She wouldn't flip on me. So they pull out. They like, hold on. Here go the written confession, and he was like, fuck, they got me. He like,
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah.
now before
Hey,
he
look.
started talking, he had some requirements before he started talking. He like, look, bring me some Arby's
Mm-hmm.
and let me get a few minutes alone with my girl before I start talking. And now probably that Arby's probably the best meal that nigga had in a long time. I guarantee you.
He fucking them. Yeah,
He
I
was
hear
he was
fucking them
fucking
curly
that
fries up.
Arby's up in that
Yeah,
video.
man, yeah, he fucking them fries up. You're like,
Right.
yeah. So then, I, I killed the nigga, right? Hold on, pay me the barbecue sauce, the horseradish.
So he said, quote, everything she said was true. It was all on me. So they did allow the little lovebirds to have a moment. And when Danielle saw Chaz, this bitch immediately jumps into his lap. So beforehand, they must have already had the agreement that if things went south, Chaz would just go ahead and take the fall.
So Chad said that Danielle had a son she need to go home to and say whatever she had to get back to her son. So he like, look, look. He said, I'm gonna be a man about it. I'm gonna put all that shit on me. She ain't got nothing to do with it. He said that he would take whatever the charge was, even including the death penalty, if it meant Danielle could walk. So both of them were charged, formally charged on October 16th, and they were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. And they were sent to the Harris County Jail where they were held without bail. So all that pleading and whining, that shit, them ain't no different. They charged that broad. So they appeared in court together. Chaz confessed to being the trigger man and also setting Blaze's car on fire. Danielle confessed to helping Chaz move the victim remains, and she also took the police to the stolen murder weapon. Obviously, they didn't have no good ass lawyer because if I'm giving you up all this information, nigga, like especially if he's saying that he'll take the rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, obviously they had public defender. So Detective
You already,
Fieldwater
you know
said,
they had public defenders. They was broke. They was over here
"Oh
robbing
damn,
cab
yeah,
drivers. So
yeah,
you
you're
know
right."
they ain't had no money.
That public defender came in, that bitch wearing some FUBU jeans, you know what I'm saying, in a damn what you call it, Shine John button down. So you know that no nigga was going straight to jail. So anyway, it was basically a setup to rob the cab drivers, is what Detective Fieldwater said. Unfortunately, instead of just robbing them, they decided that whatever they compromised in the robbery, they felt they needed to eliminate the witnesses. So that's why they killed them. Again, so stupid. Both Danielle and Chaz took a plea deal. Chaz pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Danielle pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated murder and was sentenced to 40 years. You see that? 40 years. She in jail for trying
40
to
years.
ride and die with a bum ass nigga.
I blame her too because both of y'all could have got a job. Both of y'all.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the chances,
or you could have just said, "Hey, I'm not going to participate in no bullshit.
but
I'm
had y'all,
not about to
I'm just
do it."
saying, had y'all had a job, y'all wouldn't have needed to rob people because y'all had a job.
Or you could have got a job and robbed the goddamn job. You know what I'm saying? Start skimming money from the top. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that at Taco Bell back in the day.
Well,
That's a long story.
you don't shit where you eat. That's what I was told, but you know.
You don't
So,
shit where you eat.
mhm. So Danielle,
Yeah.
she's serving her sentence at the Murray Correctional Facility in Gatesville, Texas. Her parole date is October 16th, 2030. So she got not too that's shoot. She up for parole in 5 years. And
No, keep that bitch locked down. She don't deserve to be out.
she too stupid to be out. And her release date is October 16th of 2050. So she got another
Mm,
25 years if she ugh, long time.
mm.
So Chaz
So
is at the Cofield Correctional Facility in Tennessee Colony, Texas. And if you are interested, he is looking for a boo to hold him down. His writerprisoner.com says that he is a Leo and he's single. He is not looking for a prayer partner or legal help. He just wants some company. And he is a Christian. And you can find him on JPay. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So
and he
just
got a
look
new
it.
mixtape dropping called The Booty Cat Chronicles.
Here you go. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to add. So Blaze, the second cab driver, his wife actually filed a lawsuit against the yellow cab company because she said that the company was aware of the first murder, and instead of them investigating and trying to see what was going on, they still sent a second person to that same location.
Yeah,
And
that was weird.
he,
Like that was kind of weird. That was they dropped the ball on that one.
well, I mean, I guess I can kind of see like they didn't know, like it could have been an isolated incident. They didn't know. And
But
there,
I'm saying though, that's to think about it. If I'm a what they call them, the people that take the call, whatever you
the
call it, right?
dispatcher.
No, the dispatcher, and I know one of my where people just got killed when they went to a Chevron station and found somebody named Shantae. You would be kind of, know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? That's something major. A cab driver working for your company got murdered. That's something major. And a couple days later, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm with
I
her.
just think
They
that
should
maybe
have.
they because I think that maybe they possibly thought it was an isolated incident. Now I couldn't find if she actually won the lawsuit or not, but she did file it. I'm not sure how what happened with that. But yes.
All
So
right. Well, that's the story of Danielle Huston and DJ Broke Nigga Blackshear.
yes, that was that. I'm just very y'all are stupid as fuck. Word of the day is job. That's all I'm saying.
Go out and look for a job. The word today is job. Job. You hear me? Yeah.
Job.
That
Yes.
could have just solved the problem. So we're just gonna go ahead and move right on along.
To our favorite segment called
Love, Lies, and Alibis.
All right. Yes, here we go. So what we got?
Okay, so
What we
this
got?
week's question in Love, Lies, and Alibis was what are your five non negotiables in going
Five
into a
nine.
relationship?
Oh, okay. What are yours?
Okay, so my non negotiables, first and foremost, you have to be a God fearing man who can take the lead. That is an absolute non negotiable.
God fear, man. Jesus.
You gotta be. Two, you need a passport or the ability to get one because I can't. You are not going to Miami, Vegas, Houston, me to damn death. I got places to go, things to see, and I'm not about to sit here with your whining ass.
Hell no, we not doing that.
Mm-mm.
Then you remember that time you made that comment, that nigga got mad at you.
Oh my god, it's so many niggas that got mad at me talking about you worried about the wrong shit. Then it was the one who he told. That's how I ended up finding out that he owed $40,000 in child support. So see, it's a method behind my madness as to why you have to have a passport. Because it's not just about traveling, but it's the reason why you can't get a passport. Because if you $40,000 behind in child support, sir, what we about to do?
That
I'm
is
not. You
true.
ain't taking my income tax check. I'm not coming up off to help
Hell
you with
no.
kids that ain't mine that came before me.
Mm-mm.
Third, you
Fuck
can
them little niggas.
if you was a wig supporter, aka a MAGA person, we
Oh,
don't even need to talk. It's not even negotiable because I worry
mm,
about your morals.
exactly.
Um, and you need 4, you have to know how to be respectful. And I mean, because we had the conversation about love versus respect. I need the respect and all that comes with that.
Amen.
And then the last one is you have to be at an age appropriate part of your life. Like because I don't date anybody under the age of 40. I need you to have your own place. You do not need to have a roommate. I need you to have a car. You need to be working at your job, and you need to have a decent job. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not dating somebody that's working at McDonald's. I'm not big on how much money you make, but you have to be doing something with your life. Like, if at this age, we need to be to a point, if we're coming together, we're building something. I'm not trying to pull you along at this point. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, we not doing. Yeah, no, we not no building niggas around these
Yeah, I'm not
parts.
doing a building nigga. Like, you gotta come with, I can't even say the basics anymore. Like, you
I
gotta
mean, now
come with.
granted, now let me clear. It's nothing wrong with making a situation better. Like if anything,
No.
you're supposed to enhance it. Like
Yes,
if
yes.
I come to the table, it's there to enhance. It's not. There should be no reason for me to come to the table. You know what I'm saying? And kind of look and it's like I don't want to lower your property value, but bring stuff down. And you gotta, in order to get me where I need to. Nah, fuck that.
Right,
We
because
not
and the
building
thing
niggas.
is that anything that I'm asking you to bring to the table is the same thing that I'm bringing to the table. Because I'm not one of
I
the women that
respect
like
that.
he need, like the women who like he needs to have this, and this. If anything that I'm requiring of you, I'm bringing it to the table myself.
All right.
So, okay, what are
Um,
yours?
Mine, we going from 5 up. So if we going 5 up, I would say yes, not to go negotiable. You got to be able to communicate, right? You got to be able to communicate.
Oh, that's
That's
a good
big. If you
one.
can't communicate, get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Number 2, I would probably say clean. Not number 2, but number 4, cleanliness, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no bacteria vaginosis around these parts. You know what I'm saying? Can't be smelling like, you know what I'm saying, wood pussy. I'm just throwing it out there. I would say number 3 would be number 3, I would probably say yes, honesty. I like that's big for me. You know what I'm saying? Like we grown as hell. Ain't no reason to lie about that. Number 2, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be attractive. And I'm being honest with you. You got to. You gotta be attractive. You know what I'm saying? You can't be no wolf booger. Can't be that. And number 1 is respect. And we talked about that. Love and respect.
Mhm.
You can love somebody and cheat on them. You know what I'm saying? I know people that's in love with they people and get their ass beat. But respect, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Respect is so much that under there. So I'm real big on respect. So number 1, that's respect. If you ain't got no respect, now I'm talking about respect where you ain't gonna be just talking to me anyway, disrespecting me, and just like you said, everything that I'm asking is what I'm bringing to the table. I'm very big on communication. You know what I'm saying? Cleanliness is very big for me. You know what I'm saying? I wash my ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm real big on, and I got respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one to call you out of your name or anything. Unless I'm talking about you, but that's something different. All right, so let's go to see what everybody else said. Look, I gotta read this one because this shit was funny.
Why I can't find the
Danita.
post?
Oh, I got it. So
Okay.
you look. Danita said number 1 is hygiene, sense of humor, ability to provide, protect, no liars, cheaters, and don't be whooping my ass.
Okay.
Not
To me, that falls up
necessarily
under the
in
respect
that
thing.
order. Yeah, she said, "Don't be whooping my ass." You know what I'm
Put your
saying?
hands on me, sir.
I look, I ain't mad because look, women be acting like, oh, I want a good looking man with a good job and everything. You get all that, you know what I'm saying? But he be smacking the shit out you every other day.
True.
So you know what I'm saying? Yes. All right, I'll read another one while you're waiting. Liz said lack of effort and appreciation, emotional, unavailable, and poor communication, feeling like I have to be the man and nigga needs to lead, lack of affection and intimacy, ambiguity. Oh damn, I said that about the future. Man, shut your ass up.
You be so rude. I still
I
can't
know.
find this post.
I'm reading 2 more. Brittany, it's Brittany, bitch, said emotional, unavailable, content with being a bum. Lack of dominance, not control though. So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta, it's a thin line between dominance and control. It is. It's a thin line, and some men don't know how to waver that line. You know what I'm saying? Some men take control and dominance, and they just wrap it all into one package. And next thing you know, you can't go outside unless you text them and send them a picture of your address or whatever.
Okay, I found it now.
Um,
Sheesh.
Lack of communication and lack of romance.
Okay, so let's see. Yana, 1, hygiene, 2, respect, 3, can't be no bum. I understand life happens, but if you 30 and you never had no job, no car, no apartment, and can't keep a job, bye. And she said she was gonna come back for 4 or 5, but she never did.
She did. So she ain't got no Sanders. She just accept anything. That basically that's what she said. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
my
as long
god.
as you got a car, as long as you you wash up, respect, and you got a car and a house, you can get with Yana. Just on that out there. You can be ugly as hell. You could choke the shit out of her.
She did not say that. So, okay. Yes. We're just gonna go ahead and cut that.
And yeah, so that's the end of Love Lies and Alibis. Remember, when we always post on Tuesdays, we usually post a Love Lies and Alibis question, and you leave a comment, and we will read your comment. Yes, interact with us. We love it.
You
We
got to make sure
interact
you're,
back.
but you have to get to the Love Lies and Alibis question of the week. You have
Oh,
to join
yes.
the Love Lies and Alibis Facebook group to see the
Yes.
questions. Yes,
Yes.
every
Love Lies and
Tuesday
Alibis.
we drop that question of the week. So speaking of Love Lies and Alibis, the panel is coming on May the 3rd. We have all of our contestants lined up and ready to go. I have to email everybody after I put their name in the random name generator because we had a lot of women enter, but I know it was hard as hell to track down some men, but we got them. So
Yeah.
things can finally move forward. So we are all set for May 3rd. So look out this week for your emails confirming likely tomorrow, which or today rather, because it's going to air on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, look out for your email confirmations.
So
You
look, if somebody back out or whatever, we still gonna. I mean, what if somebody back out? So
Yeah,
we
then
should have at least
we'll
two
have to
people
yeah.
that we should say they could be like a backup, like a turn alternate, just in case.
Yes. So you want to go ahead and talk about our girl real quick?
Yes, Khadijah. Yes, Khadijah Brown. So we was just on what's the name of the show that we was on?
Panther
What?
Politics.
Panther Politics. I apologize. They know me, so they know I'm horrible with names. Shout out to Panther Politics, man. That was an amazing collab. Know what I'm saying? That was an amazing collab. Them some good
Yes,
brothers.
we
Check out their
yes, Panther
podcast.
Politics. Yes, that was a dope collab. We had so much
Yes.
fun with that one. Willie
I'm
almost
not gonna
died
lie.
during the
Oh
episode,
my
but
god, yeah, it was late as hell because they 3 hour they're at West Coast time, so they three
yeah.
hours. So we started 11:45 and I was sick as hell. I doped up on everything, but when I say I stayed the whole time because it was, I mean, the energy was so good. So
It
again,
really
shout
was.
out
So
to
make sure,
Panther
yeah, make
Politics.
sure you check out Panther Politics. Like we had such a good time and
Almost,
we are so
yes.
thankful to be able
Thank
to
you, thank you.
collab.
So the purpose of me bringing that up was to say that we touched on it on that show, and and with us touching on it on the show, know what I'm saying, and just being able to hear other, because we always talk about what we think about it, and just to hear their stance on it really makes what we're doing even pumps me up even more, because there's other people that feel the same way, to feel that it was injustice in the punishment. Again, there should be punishment because somebody lost their life, but the years that they gave her, it doesn't fit the crime. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So we just ask people to do whatever you can. You can donate. I want to give a shout out to what's her name?
Girl,
Your
I tell you
girl,
this every week, D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan. I'm sorry. I gotta give out to shout out to D'Artagnan, man. I'm telling you, she good female. She always be looking out, know what I'm saying, doing her donations. So I gotta give a shout out to her. Donate what you can.
Her
We're trying to
GoFundMe,
get her
if you go
GoFundMe.
her GoFundMe, if you go to our Instagram page and to our link tree, the GoFundMe link is there to her.
And then it's case 9. If you want to go back and listen to the case, it's case 9. So yeah, man, go donate, man. Y'all be spending money on
Stop trying to
bullshit
bully
is
people.
gas station honey and know what I'm saying, and some freaking pills that's probably laced with fentanyl. Y'all could be doing some good things in the world. So make sure y'all donate, man. All right, back on you.
If y'all could see how hard I be rolling my eyes, they probably pop out my head if I could roll them any harder than I do. Okay, so now June 14th, we are going to be in Atlanta with Kay at the Infamous Ones. We gotta give a shout out to our girl Kay and the Infamous Ones. Oh, and before I continue, make sure you give a shout out to the Sip of Red Rum Willie mentioned before, Not My Brother's Keeper, King Arthur, and our girl over at Melanin Mayhem,
Renee.
Renee, BTCC. So, um, We will be with Kay and Renee in Atlanta on June 14th. I think she has like a few tickets left, like, and I mean a few. So if you have not gotten your tickets, the link is either in her group, our group. Make sure you're there. And if you can't make it to Atlanta, in Cleveland, July 12th, we are going to be in Cleveland. King Arthur is going to be joining us from Not My Brother's Keeper. And then we have another special guest, but I'm not going to mention who it is until they confirm too. But yes, and Kay is going to be there as well. So we are planning to have a dope time. It's going to be a picnic. Everything is going to be free from our end as far as food and drinks. We are going to have some gift bags and we're going to do some giveaways and we're going to have things for the kids. We're going to have vendors. So if you're interested in being a vendor in Cleveland, you can send us an email to podcast@melaninmysteries.com. Also, if you're interested in ad space, you can send an email there as well. And what else I got? I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that's it. Is it? Yes, and we got a big announcement coming up. We can't tell y'all no more, but we got a big announcement coming up.
Yes,
So
so look out for it in the next
yeah,
couple of
look out
weeks. We
for it.
have a huge we have a lot of big announcements coming. But yes, we working on something so big and we cannot wait until we can share it with y'all.
Yes, that's
Um
what's up.
yes, it's gonna be dope. So we just want to say thank y'all for rocking with us this far. And we will catch y'all next week. Right, best?
All right, yes, and we out. Take it easy.
So remember, love should never come with a life sentence. So make sure you choose freedom and not felonies.
Exactly.